Sorry, I'm recording on a hospital in the emergency room, but from question one, from reading the article that explains that populism is a discursive frame towards a specific policy driven by political ideology, what I was able to understand was that it seems like it's covering facts and protecting certain ideas or important figures. It explains that there are those considered elites that derive from some sort of power, like the media, influential figures, and the rich. The elites also corrupt the supposedly moral actors by undermining their intentions with derogatives that go against what they try to proclaim. In today's society, populism is so successful because people will believe absolutely nothing. For example, since the birth of the internet, we have been told not to look up our symptoms when we are sick on the internet because it says we could have cancer or serious illnesses, when in reality it's not that severe. I believe that's the analogy I would use when it comes to describing populism and how it is successful in today's society, since it frames the morally virtuous people. On page 20, the article by Francesco Duina, he explains that the success of populist leaders must be able to shed light not only on millions of their followers that support them, but on why they often do so viscerally and with great intensity. This means that a popular leader needs to enlighten both sides of the political views, whether it's right-wing or left-wing. Their intention is to frame certain things in order to get the population on the other side to create unity within their ideologies. From a worldwide and historical perspective, populism usually doesn't pan out because populist leaders are not viewed the same in other parts of the world. For example, in our day and time, Donald Trump is a very criticized leader worldwide because the world does not view America the way that he does. And in fact, his administration has also been criticized to show racism to many countries around the world and show ideologies that the rest of the world does not agree with. Historically, a figure that can be used as an example for populist leadership is also Adolf Hitler, because although he was a strong and influential leader in Germany in the beginning of his reign, the world united against him and his ideologies that caused his downfall. Hitler was also known to be a master of speeches and having an influential tongue amongst the Germans, which also led to his untimely death right when he knew he was losing the war and took his own life because he couldn't use populism to his advantage and his people lost faith in him. Question 2. I believe that some of the major changes that I see happening in our political apparatus is that people would pay less importance to things happening in our inner circle once our leaders have their status start to fade away, either to unpopularity or being legitimate. People like transparency and honesty from their leaders. They like to know the intentions and the purpose of what they stand for and what they model. I see political leaders losing status by keeping citizens away from what they thought certain areas of politics could be. We live in a time where being a politician means life and death because political leaders on both sides are too stubborn and do not admit fault when either side is wrong. Under the method of leadership, my family operates in an organized and disciplined way for the most part. When I used to live with my parents, my father was the head of the household, and although my mother still did things for us behind his back, we knew my father was not always right, and a lot of things still went his way, and we respected and believed that his ideas were the right way, even though they were wrong, just to make him happy. Now, as I have moved out of my parents, I am the head of the household, my wife, and a baby that is on the way. I have also learned from the ways that my father used to teach us and the actions that made me responsible as a young adult. I wish to pass that upon my children and hope to have them show respect towards me and my family. I feel like I came out pretty responsible and respectful, and wish to pass that as well, so they can have a good leadership and be a good role model. For question 3, I believe that the tactics used by the alt-rights to gain legitimacy is that they tend to use social media to express their points of view through the means of the internet, since they feel protected through the screen, and do what they call rage bait by purposefully engaging in discussions and debates about their views. One of the other tactics that they use is that they lie to bend the truth for their own benefits by creating conspiracy theories and propaganda to show hatred and racism towards other races. These tactics gain legitimacy in modern politics because their voice means of expression allows more racist and white economists to feel more comfortable coming out and expressing the same feelings without morally understanding human values instead of being Proud Boys. I believe a good example was Charlie Kirk before his tragic death. By passing, he was a good example on how to non-violently sit at campuses and be a voice for his political views and racial agendas. Although he didn't admit to being a racist at times, he believed and stood for a political party that did. He was extremely smart at turning the truth and manipulating things using the Bible, and using Trump as an example of a great American. I witnessed a major shift for conservatives when they started watching him throughout the years, and his popularity grew throughout the campuses where he was well known for, and most likely liberal safe zones. I saw him change people's perspectives and beliefs based on certain opinions he had, and made more conservatives show up to the debates, displaying a sign of being proud. The experience that I can cite from this shift is going through all of college and having friends that I didn't even know were or felt like they were conservatives showing me that they wanted to buy tickets to one of his debates on a tour for a YouTube channel he was invited to, and other shows that he would turn into for his Turning Point event for USA website. But yeah, that is what I believe made a big shift in the conservatives. Thank you.